Welcome into Fourth Down in the Steel City. How are you, friends? I'm Chris Mack. Josh Taylor with me. Greg Finley, our intrepid producer, trying as always to keep us in line. And we will build the game plan for the Steelers-Browns game in our next episode. But this one, we got to get you our picks for Sunday's action before the Steelers and Browns take off on Monday. So let's first look back on how we did week one. Greg, you're the official standings keeper. How did we do week one?
Well, you both had more upsets than I did, so it worked out for you guys because last week was kind of crazy with some of these games.
It was.
And so you both went 9-7, and I went 7-9. So you have a 2-game lead on me, but hey, the comeback starts now.
Here we go. I love it.
Bounce back like Kenny Pickett will, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right on.
Okay. All right. What's our first game? What do we got?
All right. So we'll start with the 1 o'clock window. Green Bay Packers, who got a win. They looked really good against the Bears in week one. They go to Atlanta to take on the 1-0 Falcons. Green Bay minus 1.5. I'll start with you, Chris.
You know what? I think I like Green Bay in this one. I think it's more a fade of Atlanta. I don't trust the Falcons. They had their moments in week one against Carolina, and then they also had their moments in week one against Carolina. So if the Packers only have to lay 1.5 I'll admit it if I end up being totally wrong about Jordan Love and the Packers. I never actually really said that Jordan Love wouldn't be good. I just said I didn't necessarily trust that he was going to be good. And I thought it might be a little messier than it necessarily was week one against the Bears. Maybe that's just because, well, the Bears suck out loud. But give me the Packers laying 1.5 in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Packers aren't facing Chase Claypool on offense this time around. Maybe it'd be a little bit more of a challenge for them going up against Atlanta. Yeah, I got that in there. I had the opportunity. I think it'll be the same thing again. I think they're going to lean on Aaron Jones. I think they're going to lean on Dillon. They will lean on their running backs, whether in the run game or in the pass game, because one of Jordan Love's touchdown passes was to which one was it? No, it wasn't Dillon. It was Jones. I think it was a big one to Jones. So I think they're going to do that again. They're going to lean on their running backs. I think their defense is good enough to keep Atlanta bottled up. I think Green Bay gets the one on the road.
How do you feel about Green Bay if Jones doesn't play because he hasn't practiced all week?
They still have Dillon, so I'm not that worried about it. They still have that defense. I'm with Chris. It's as much about what they can do on offense running the ball as much as they can to stop Atlanta. I still think they can win that game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay as well, and I'll probably be angry at Kyle Pitts' performance because he's on my fantasy team.
Oh, you did that? Oh, come on.
Yeah, that guy just doesn't do anything. All right, sticking with the 1 o'clock window, the Las Vegas Raiders are at the Buffalo Bills. Vegas coming off of a win in Denver, and the Bills lost to Zach Wilson. Buffalo minus 8.5. Josh.
Is it safe to say that people don't trust Josh Allen anymore? And I say this as a guy named Josh because I don't trust Josh Allen anymore. I don't know what about Buffalo's offense I can trust. I can't trust Josh Allen's decision-making. I can't trust their commitment to run the ball efficiently. Although they did it for a while against the Jets, I just don't know if they can keep that going. And I say that with Vegas on the other side of things and how that game transpired against Denver. They actually did move the ball in some spots pretty well against the Broncos in that defense, which was pretty impressive to me. But remember what I told you before the season started. Buffalo not making the playoffs. I got them losing this game. I got them going 0-2.
Yeah, I don't know if I have Buffalo losing outright, but this is just way too big a spread. 8.5. 8.5 is too much for me. I think Buffalo wins, but I think the Raiders keep it uncomfortably close with Josh Allen.
Fair.
Yeah, Allen made some really dumb throws in that game Monday night where it was just, Stephon Diggs down there in double or triple coverage. Like, you just can't do that. I'm taking Vegas with the plus 8.5.
Chris, what did the public enemy say? Can't trust it.
I think that 8.5 is too many points, but I also am worried that the Bills might actually win this game in convincing fashion because we all just took the Raiders.
Probably, yeah.
Chris, you all right there?
Don't mind me. I'm just doing the Flavor Flav in the camera.
I love it. I love it.
Public Enemy now. I got it playing in
I
my head.
love it. I love it.
Sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing out.
And if you know,
That's why you watch it. Yeah.
Okay. AFC North Showdown. 1-0 Baltimore Ravens without J.K. Dobbins now for the rest of the season. At 0-1 Cincinnati Bengals with a quarterback that threw for 80 yards in the rain against the Browns. Bengals -3.5. I'll start with you, Chris.
I think the Bengals bounce back in a big way. Joe Shiesty going to be mad, going to want to prove some things. You mentioned the absence of Dobbins. Baltimore's gone from a team just a year and a half ago that had way too many running backs and not enough wide receivers to the exact opposite now. There were moments where they looked really disjointed in week one against a Texans team that is young and inexperienced on defense. That doesn't surprise me, looking disjointed in a new offense. But I think, unfortunately for Baltimore, it's going to continue. So give me the Bengals by, I don't know, probably somewhere in that 4 to 6 point range. So I think they cover the 3.5.
Yeah, I can see the Bengals winning this game by a touchdown, if not more. I agree with you. Joe Burrow is not going to throw for 80 yards, probably not even the rest of this season. I thought the weather played a big factor in that. They're going to be at home. They're going to be upset. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to want to win this game in a big way. And not having J.K. Dobbins means Baltimore can't control the clock and keep the ball out of Joe Shiesty's hands so he can get to that agenda. I like Cincinnati covering this one.
Originally, I had Baltimore written down, but I did change it because of these reasons that you guys just gave. Bengals come with vengeance in this one after what happened last week. All right, Seattle, who surprisingly lost to the Rams last week in embarrassing fashion. Are people sleeping on the Rams? We'll talk about that later. The Seahawks are at the Lions. Detroit 1-0. They knocked off the Chiefs on the opening night. Lions are -6.5. I'm going to take the Lions at home in this one.
Oh, man. Seattle was banged up in that game against the Rams. They lost a lot of guys with injuries, including my favorite Seahawk, Tyler Lockett. He was out with a concussion. They might go limping into Detroit. It's a road game that I don't know if they're going to be prepared for to try to make that trip. I'm going to go with Detroit. I can't believe I'm saying Detroit covering 6.5. But then again, I had Detroit straight up against Kansas City. So I'm going to say the Lions win this game. The Lions are a much tougher team. They're more physical. They have completely changed their identity under Dan Campbell. And you got a whole bunch of people in the D wearing them blue ski masks. Yeah, I got the Lions.
Yeah, I think I'm on Detroit here too. This is going to pain me all year to say it because I said before the year they're not good enough to win the division. They're probably good enough to win the division even if they don't end up doing it. And I think they cover against Seattle for all the reasons Josh just mentioned. So, for Seattle coming east, beat up physically after that game against the Rams. Yeah, give me Detroit to cover.
I would like to change my Vikings win the division pick and go with the Lions.
Come on, hang in there. Hang in there.
We'll get into the Vikings later.
I mean, we're recording this Thursday before Thursday Night Football. The Vikings very well could be 0-2 if the Eagles just bludgeon them.
Which they will. It's going to happen.
All right. How about this one? Another shocker in week one. The Buccaneers went to Minnesota and beat the Vikings. They now host the 0-1 Chicago Bears. Baker Mayfield and the boys are -3.5 at home. I'm taking the Bucs.
Is it really? Did Baker Mayfield really figure out the Vikings' defensive signals? Did that really happen? That would have been a great "Is This a Thing" topic. Because man, if that's a thing, my God, that looks really bad on a former Steelers assistant named Brian Flores. But yeah, I'll give me the Bucs too because we just talked about the Bears. Give me the Bucs.
Bears are a disaster. Give me Tampa as much as it pains me. Give me Baker and the boys.
2-0 Bucs. My God.
Yeah. The NFC South might be even more crazier than we thought because I think we all thought the Saints were just going to run away with this by default, but
and the NFC North might be more mid than the NFC South.
You know what? Yeah,
Just saying.
Well, the NFC North does have the Minnesota Vikings. All right.
There you go. There you go.
Stop it. Stop it.
I think,
Kirk Cousins is a national treasure.
That's my fault. That's my fault, Chris. I put that in his brain. That's on me. I'll own that.
You put it in my brain last year in the playoffs. Anyway,
Yeah.
sticking with 1 o'clock games, it's a rematch of the playoff game last year, but this time it's in Jacksonville. The Chiefs go to the Jaguars. Kansas City -2.5. Travis Kelce most likely is playing. That's all I need to hear. Mahomes comes back with vengeance, and the Chiefs win this one, and they cover the 2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, Greg. It's too short a number. I understand this thing was tight at times in the playoff game, right? Well, don't forget Patrick Mahomes was playing on basically a leg and a half towards the end of that game. They needed Chad Henne to step in for a key drive at one point. The Jags are going to be better this year, especially against that schedule. They may challenge Kansas City for the number 1 overall seed in the AFC because of that soft, multiple W's and F's in there, soft schedule. But they don't beat Kansas City head up, not even at home. So it may even be a tight game because we talk about how the Chiefs love to play close games. But the Chiefs cover. If it's 2.5, yeah. If it gets up to 3.5 or any more than that, I'd start to wonder because I think it's a field goal game. But I think, especially with Kelce, Mr. Taylor Swift back in the lineup, then
and Chris Jones is back too. He signed that contract.
There you go.
Jones is there too. Yep. There you go.
Yep. Give me the Chiefs.
I said this earlier in the week, Chris, in one of the earlier shows, that the 49ers were the best team that the Steelers were going to face all season. I feel the exact same way about Kansas City being the best team that the Jags are going to face all season. And for that reason, you mentioned Chris Jones, Travis Kelce will be healthy. I can't see the Chiefs losing back-to-back games at all at any point this year. Yeah, Kansas City with the 2.5. It feels like a gimme. You
think Kadarius Toney comes out with that glob that the kid wore in Little Giants so he doesn't drop the ball?
Hayden, call 911. I can't. My fingers are stuck together. Shout out to Little Giants, man. Love that movie.
All right, 2 0-1 teams in the AFC South do battle in Houston. It's the Colts at the Texans. Indianapolis -1.5. Hey, Anthony Richardson looked really good in Week 1 against Jacksonville. I'm going to go with the Colts and the -1.5.
Oh, this game. Oh.
Is this game the toilet bowl? Is this the official toilet bowl?
This is close.
So is this like the toilet bowl, like version 1?
I'm like Craig's dad in Friday right now. I need the air freshener.
Yeah, you smelled it for 22 years. You got to smell this one for 60 minutes. But I'm with Greg. I got the Colts. I don't think Houston's offense can do anything even remotely similar, and that's with C.J. Stroud to try to keep up with Anthony Richardson in that group. So, yeah, give me Indy with the 1.5.
Yeah, as long as Anthony Richardson's healthy and ready to go, give me the Colts.
Agreed.
And he more than likely is more than ready to go because he is practicing this week, and they said that he's most likely going to play. All right. So far, we have no picks that we disagreed on. We've all had the same picks.
So we're going to be like 0-7 to start.
Correct.
Okay. Fair.
Okay, here's the surpriser. The Rams got a win in Week 1 in Seattle. They're now hosting San Francisco. 49ers aren't the Seahawks. 49ers -7.5 in this one. And I think they're going to cover it. I'm going to take San Francisco.
That's a big number.
Wow.
Really good team.
Rams did some things that caught my attention. Yeah, it was a really good team. They did some things that caught my attention, but I think San Francisco, they are the class of that division, and they're going to be out in front quickly. This game will be part of it. I like the 49ers.
Yeah, I think what the Rams did in Week 1 is an outlier. It's an exception to the rule. Niners, I think, end up covering and win by 10.
Yep. All right. 2 0-1 teams. One team didn't score a touchdown or even a field goal, and the other team is led by Josh Dobbs. It's the Giants and the Cardinals.
Geez. Oh, boy.
It's your classic Dick Stockton game back in the days, but now it's probably a Chris Myers game. Giants Minus 3.5 on the road. I'll start with you, Chris.
Oh man, Giants. Giants will cover. They'll get their feet under them. I think the Cowboys are their boogeyman, especially in prime time. The Cowboys are their boogeyman, so they bounce back in a big way against the Cards.
Let the record state Adam Amin drew the short stick on this one. Chris Myers is in Houston for Colts Texans. He gets to throw the ball.
The game's so bad, CBS said, "Here, Fox, take it."
Poor Chris Myers. He deserves better than that.
No, he doesn't. No.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. That said, we'll call this the NFC version of the toilet bowl, but I do have the Giants winning this one. Actually, the Giants aren't that bad, but they're not facing a defense as good as the Cowboys was. What did I tell you guys last week? Run the ball, play defense, and win that game easily. Giants can run the ball against Arizona. Daniel Jones should not be under as much of duress as he should against Arizona. I like the Giants.
The Fox coverage map is ridiculous this week, by the way. Like the game is Green Bay and Atlanta that everybody's going to get. That's just weird. Anyway, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But Pittsburgh gets Seattle at Detroit. So make that make sense. Everybody else is yellow for the Green Bay Atlanta game.
I'd rather see Seattle Detroit, honestly.
Yeah. All right. I'm also taking the Giants. So once again, still nobody has taken a game that other guys haven't taken. The 425 CBS game with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. It will be actually, am I wrong on that? No, yeah, I'm right. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo. It's the Jets at the Cowboys. No Aaron Rodgers. So this game just, it took a huge turn. And I think Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are like, hey, can we switch with somebody? Because this might be ridiculously bad. Cowboys minus 8.5 in Jerry's world against Zach Wilson and the Jets.
Ooh, 8.5. Wow.
The biggest mistake the Jets are going to look back on this year is going to be not going out and getting an actual quarterback after Aaron Rodgers got hurt and sticking with Zach Wilson. I think they lose by at the very least they cover. It's probably more like a double-digit game.
So you take the Cowboys?
Yes.
I had the Cowboys losing this game, even with Aaron Rodgers on the roster before they kicked off week one. I said the Cowboys were going to win this game at home. I'm not changing that. Only changes now is how many they're going to win by. It'll be double digits. I like Dallas.
They routed the Giants by 40 in MetLife with a competent Daniel Jones.
And Saquon Barkley.
Zach Wilson is what they're going up against. They might win by 40 again. Cowboys. Cowboys. Jeez. It's like the little Giants in the first half when it's 21-0 at halftime. It very well could be like that.
I'm awaiting that Scooter Magruder video. It's going to be good.
Look, Jets fans, you want to talk about it? All right. Another 425er. It's the Washington Commanders at the Denver Broncos. Washington's 1-0. But Denver is the favorite. They're minus 3.5. And this is a Spiro Deeds game. I knew it from the get-go. Spiro always gets the worst ones on CBS.
Yeah.
Do
the Broncos bounce back and get a dub at home?
Yes, I'm going to do this again. I made the mistake the first time with Denver with 3.5. I'm going to do it again this time because Washington almost lost that. They almost lost that game against Arizona and didn't cover. I think the Broncos will do it here. So, yeah, I got Denver with the 3.5. I'm going to do this again. Seriously, Sean Payton, don't make me look like an idiot. Come on.
When he onside kicked and the illegal touched it, he made us all look like idiots that took Denver.
Russell Wilson or Ron Rivera. I don't know who I have less trust in this case. But I'm going to go with my guy, Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell steps up and the Commanders win outright on the road in Denver.
Wow.
Are you confident in that you would put money on that?
We're not.
Is that a BetQL pick?
Money for the hot sheet now?
No, we're not. I'm just asking off the record.
I don't know if it's a money play, but I'd consider it. I don't trust Denver as far as I can throw Russell Wilson.
That's fair.
And with this back, I shouldn't be throwing anybody. I mean,
all right. So we have our first pick that we disagree on. I'm with Josh. I'm taking Denver at home. Taking Denver.
Okay, just wait.
Sunday Night Football. Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. Miami -2.5.
Miami covers this, right?
They should. Yeah.
Yeah, Miami covers this. Yeah. Give me the Dolphins.
Josh.
This is my first home dog pick. Belichick as a home dog. With that defense, they gave Philly all the problems they gave Philly. I think New England's going to surprise some people. Give me the Patriots.
You think New England can get into a shootout with Miami, though? Like,
I don't think they can get to a shootout with Miami. I don't think they can get to a shootout with Miami, but I think their defense can make it just mucky enough to make it close. So, yeah. And it's New England at home, prime time as a dog.
I think
that's a Belichick game, circle.
I think Philly struggled because of the rain, not because of the Patriots' defense. I'm going to take Miami.
Yeah.
Now, if they're in Miami, I take the Dolphins without – actually, if they're in Miami, I definitely take the Dolphins because Belichick doesn't beat them in Miami. But in Foxborough, yeah, give me New England.
All right. Doubleheader Monday Night Football. Saints at Panthers, the game that nobody cares about. New Orleans -3.5.
Ugh. This is how many times have I had to hold my nose this week?
That's the NFL. They have some really bad games.
No, you know what? It's a field goal game. I think it's in Carolina. Panthers were back and forth with Atlanta. I think every team in the NFC South is kind of right there in that same. Like it's like the floating trash pile that's the size of Texas in the middle of the Pacific. You ever read that story? This is a floating trash pile. The NFC South. It's all just floating trash.
It's like that scene from Star Wars. It's like that scene from Star Wars where the trash compactor gets flooded.
Yes,
yeah.
Compactor. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
You're taking the Panthers.
I'm taking the Panthers.
I thought I heard you wrong. Okay.
Josh. I took New Orleans last week, but I think they were 3.5 at home, and they made a liar out of me. I'm not going to do this a second time on the road. I'm with Chris. Give me Carolina Monday Night Football at home. They can cover 3.5. I think they can. I really think they can.
Wow.
Only because they're playing against the Saints. Any other team, I might feel differently.
I'm taking New Orleans. I don't trust Bryce Young against that defense.
Fair.
Jeez.
Chris Fowler on the call.
Did we do Chargers Titans? Oh, interesting. Did we do Chargers Titans though?
I don't think we did.
Oh no, we didn't. That's my bad. Chargers Titans. Chargers are -3.5.
Great. The two coaches I trust the least. Awesome. Okay.
Look, Tennessee couldn't score a touchdown last week. I'm taking the Chargers. I don't care if
Shout out to Andrew Filipponi and his fifth-ranked coach of Mike Vrabel, who will lose this game to the Chargers. I got the Chargers.
Yeah, give me the Chargers as well.
Okay. My bad. I guess my app jumped it, or I don't know what happened. Anyway, final one.
You're good.
Steelers. The Steelers.
No, we got to save Steelers Browns for our building the game plan episode. Unless you want to give your pick, Greg, and Josh and I will give ours tomorrow. Or do we want to do them today as part of the hot sheet?
Yeah, do as part of the hot sheet. Why not?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Browns are -1.5 in Pittsburgh. That concerns me a little bit. And I never thought I would say this, but I'm taking the Browns because the Steelers without Cam Hayward, they are a different team. And I don't trust this offense yet against Myles Garrett is going to go up against more than likely Broderick Jones. That concerns me a lot. I'm taking Cleveland. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah. I don't trust the Cam Hayward absence is huge, but I think the Deontay Johnson absence has me more worried, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, Cam's more important to the team, obviously, but I don't trust the offense to figure things out with George Pickens getting double teamed all over the field. I think I'm with you, Greg. I think Cleveland covers. I think it's like a 3 or 4 point game, like a 21-17, 20-16 kind of game.
We always talk about the Mike Tomlin special losses where he loses games on the road that he has no business losing. This is going to be the opposite version of the Mike Tomlin special where he wins a game that people think he has no business winning at home on national TV and he's an underdog. It'll get ugly. The defense might have to make a play or two and bail the offense out. But even without Cam Hayward. You still got TJ Watt. You still got Minka. One of those two guys can pull a rabbit out of a hat. I think they will. It'll be close, but the Steelers will win an ugly one. It might even be both teams scoring less than 20.
Ooh. All
It could
right.
be that
That's AFC North football. That's what we call that.
Exactly.
That is your hot sheet. Those are the picks. Greg will chart them. He will let us know next week where we stand. Hopefully, we're doing a little bit better than 9-7 or 7-9. Hopefully, we start.
Hey, you're both above room temperature.
There's a lot of picks there.
Both above room temperature.
Here's the problem with us agreeing on like 12 of these picks. I think if things go bad, things are going to go bad for all of us real quick.
Strength in numbers.
So we could be in that trash. We could be in that Death Star trash compactor together real quick.
Which one of us is chewing?
We can do the podcast from there. Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll do the show from there and continue to get you ready for Steelers Browns and then react to all of it after it's done. Make sure you have subscribed or follow the podcast wherever you get it. Make sure you tap the little alert notification on your YouTube page to get new episodes in YouTube as soon as they are ready, and stay locked in right here to Fourth Down in the Steel City.